Good morning, everyone, and welcome. So glad to have you here to participate in your county government. I'd like to a little special welcome to elected Gary Gullidge and Ms. Judge Woodall. Thank you for being here. And if you bring the list forward, I'll call the Paulding County work session to order for this June 27th, 2023. Thank you. If you have a mobile device, always need to turn mine off first, I guess. And we will stand, as is our custom, and have an invocation and then a pledge. Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for this day. It's a gift that you've given us. It's a day that we should rejoice in because of just the beauty of the earth and the time of year and everything blossoming and coming out and just showing your creation, just showing off. We thank you for the opportunity to try to be in your will during this time together, and just the panel discusses and hears from our staff, and we offer a prayer of protection over our law enforcement and just all the deputies and firefighters that are out there today, and the marshal. And we just give you great thanks, Lord, for being in this country where we're free to discuss and to express our opinions, and that you, the Creator, have given us unalienable rights that are divinely given. So be with us today as we continue. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The minutes of the June 13th, 2023 work session are available along with the regular board meeting minutes. If you'd like to review those, they're on the back table. Announcements today. I'm excited to see this Team Paulding presentation about our Paulding County animal control and how we can help. So we'll look at that together.
We're overcrowded, as every shelter in this country is right now, and we're trying to find solutions, trying to find help to ease this burden here. It goes back, I think, to COVID. Some of it, people were at home, they were adopting animals, they went back to work, didn't want to be more, so they either took them back to a shelter or they just abandoned them. We get them tied to our gate, we get them dropped off in boxes. People move out of their house and literally just leave them in the house or tied up outside. People losing their homes, so they're moving in with mom and dad. There are people living in tents in their cars. They're not able to take their animals, so they again leave them or turn them into a shelter. Vets have doubled and tripled in prices, and the cost of care, food alone also has. So that's a big factor. It's a big financial stress, and people just, I think, aren't able to do it now. People call here. One of the big reasons we're hearing I can't keep my animal is I don't have enough time. If you could speak to your dog or your cat and ask them how much time is enough time, just seeing you when you come home from work is enough time. They just need to see you. So that's not an excuse. Just give them the time you can give them. So a few ways that you can help this problem here and across the country is, first thing is adopt. If you have room in your home, in your heart, come in and adopt a kitten, cat, dog, puppy. Second, social media. We use Facebook a lot. There's a lot of videos, photos, share them. Help us try to find the owners, put their pictures out there, let people see them. Rescue groups, they are so full right now, they can't pull anything from shelters. Go to those rescue groups and foster. You can help them. They pay for all the foster care. Go there. That would be great for everyone if you could help foster with some of these rescues. So we do have two big adoption events coming up. Actually, next weekend is Best Friends National Adoption Weekend. That's going to be June the 30th through July 2nd. Those adoption fees will be waived. And then the whole month of August is NBC Universal. It's Clear the Shelter event. I think this is the 9th year we've been involved with it. So it's a national event. It's countrywide. Everyone, all the shelters that participate offer discounts for adoptions, and try to clear their shelters with adoption events. Another way you can help with this problem is to spay and neuter your pets. That's going to help with some overpopulation and puppies coming in. So reach out to us and we can help you with some vet options on that. We're located at 779 Industrial Boulevard North. Give us a call, 770-445-1511.
Thank you very much, information team, and we're proud to have Eileen Culberson, the director of the Animal Control, here on the back row. You want to wave at us, Eileen? Thank you for being here. They do a great job, their team. The next thing under announcements is the Board of Commissioners would like to present the Public Safety Appreciation Award to Deputy Andrew Hodgkins with the Sheriff's Office, and we have Sheriff Gullidge here along with Colonel Hunton to make some remarks about Andrew and present him with this certificate.
Good morning, guys. Ladies, how are y'all this morning?
Good morning.
They want to do like you brag on Eileen. She's a godsend for this county. I don't know what we do without her. We never call on her for help if she don't show up. You usually have to run her off, and if not doing good, she won't leave when you try to run her off. So she's a great benefit for this county. Andrew, if you would come on up here for me. I'd like to take the pleasure to introduce you to Deputy Andrew Hoskins. His badge number is 849. That's what we call each other. We don't really have names anymore. We have numbers. Major David Pace has put him in for this award, for the Public Safety Award, on 1/1/2023. On 1/1/2023, Deputy Stewart attempted a traffic stop on East Paulding Drive on a vehicle at high rate of speed. The vehicle fled going westbound on East Paulding and then turned southbound on Dallas-Ackworth Highway. The vehicle continued on West Memorial Drive where the driver lost control, striking a power pole, knocking the power lines down, and coming to rest up against the back of a business. Deputy Hoskins arrived on the scene of the crash and observed the vehicle. It was on fire and flames were coming out the front of the vehicle's windshield. Deputy Hoskins observed a female in the passenger seat with her head out the passenger window yelling for help and advised she could not get out of the vehicle. Deputy Hoskins asked the female how many people were in the car, and she replied, Deputy Hoskins was grabbed the female and pulled her through the passenger side window up an embankment to safety. Deputy Hoskins then went back to the car and observed a male subject in the driver's seat. He was conscious and responsive, but stated that he could not move. At that time, the fire was consuming the vehicle. Deputy Hoskins was able to pull the driver out of the vehicle through the driver's side window and up the embankment to safety. If it's not for his heroic action of Deputy Hoskins to pull these two subjects to safety, the outcome would have been drastically different. Great job, Deputy Hoskins, and thank you for what you do for the Sheriff's Office. You make us all look good. We appreciate the job you do.
Thank you, sir.
Also, I'd like to thank Texas Roadhouse. They give state, so me and you can go have a steak dinner.
And I'd like to read the award here. Public Safety Appreciation Award is presented to Andrew Hoskins in recognition of outstanding service to the community, presented by the Paulding County Board of Commissioners. It's 27th day of June 2023, and we are all so proud of you.
Roll up, Mom. Guys, you know this is possible. In it?
Sure, I
That's you know this is possible. Sure.
Sheriff Gullidge, I think we know who he'll be using that certificate on. That
Yeah, we'll be at lunch here soon.
have no invited guests this morning. Bid awards is our item number 2, which is to award the Progressive Design Build Services. Let me get some glasses on here. award the Progressive Design Build Services Pumpkin Vine WRF Immediate Needs and Expansion Project, which is bid number 23020-3804. And this is a contract for the design and construction services to Ruby Collins Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $3,424,210 from the ARPA funds, American Recovery, and it's located in Post 4. Ms. Pollard and Mr. Ray Wooten to share the further information about this.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The Pumpkin Vine Water Reclamation Facility is located in North Fulton off of North Graves Spur Road. This project is basically a progressive design build to use ARPA funds to take care of the immediate needs that we have right now, which will be an expansion in itself, as well as an expansion project that's tied to it. The progressive design bid phase 1, which is the engineering services, is the project we're looking to award today, where they come with a guaranteed maximum price for phase 2 and a guaranteed maximum price for phase 3, which are the two expansions. One's intermediate needs expansion, one is an expansion to 4 million gallons. This will help us keep up with all the expansion that's occurring on the north side. When a guaranteed maximum price is come to after the design's complete, it comes back to the board for y'all to look and decide if that is the direction we want to go in. The design goes to 100% if it's a situation where when we go to expand to 4 million gallons, we may want to bid it out and we have 100% plans. The team that won the progressive design build was evaluated by 6 different members from all throughout the county. As all the staff reviewed it, Ruby Collins' team came out on top. Their design partner is Tetra Tech, and Tetra Tech is actually the one that designed the 4 million the extra million gallons of expansion at Copper Mine that brings us to 4 million. So it's a really good team, and we would just like y'all to support going forward with the design for the expansion of Pumpkin Vine through the progressive design build. Can I answer any questions?
It's a lot of information, and we're very grateful for you analyzing this for us. There's a lot of reading material that you gave us, so that may be either we don't understand what's in the reading material, or we don't, or we figured it all out, and we know where to find you. Any questions or concerns for Ray?
Hey, Ray, can you kind of just briefly describe a little bit the scoring and how that works so that everyone understands it? You know,
Okay.
There's 5, based on the sheet that I'm looking at, there's 5
Yep.
criteria, and
Yep.
there is a scoring system based on each criteria.
Correct. And we had 6 different evaluators. The evaluation of the, I'm flipping right now. The evaluation was done by 6 different evaluators, and what you're seeing is the cumulative score of those 6 evaluators. The first thing we did is we looked at how the team was put together, who was part of the team, what kind of interaction they had with design build projects before, especially progressive design build. We looked at the project team's history as far as what they did on past projects and how they delivered it. And then we looked at the team experience where the people had worked together on previous projects, as well as, again, the experience with progressive design build. And then we looked at the approach to the scope of work. Out at Pumpkin Vine, we actually have a split permit where part of it has to do with irrigation and part of it is regular treatment that's discharged to Pumpkin Vine. A lot of the approach was to see how to convert that and to use the existing concrete before we have to build on. And that was the major portion of the evaluation, is to make sure that they understood the project and how to do it. Then the fee schedule at the end basically had to deal with the prices they submitted for hourly work and for the full cost of engineering of the entire project, 100% of phase one and 100% of phase two. And that was the fee schedule that was at the end. So they were split up. The fee schedule was 10%, the approach was 50%, and the other three made up the remaining 40% of the scoring. And we had members from community development, from transportation, from finance, and from the water department that made the reviews and comments and scoring.
Any other questions?
Ray, I was at the water board meeting where y'all were discussing this, and as I recall, the next closest bid was quite a bit more than this bid. And I mean, I wouldn't want to name anybody, but I just wanted to let your customers know that you guys are watching out for the dollars.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Wooten. Good job.
Thank you.
Always special to have Sheriff Gary Goss bring us an update from the SO, and he's going to give us that report now. Some of the numbers on here kind of water my eyes, Gary.
Good morning again. Get where I can see. I'd like to give y'all the sheriff's office report for January through May of this year. As you can tell, I'll give y'all a book with all the numbers in all the stuff we do. This is just kind of hit the highlights and get out of y'all's hair. I know you got a lot to going on today. The sheriff's office during this time period has patrolled 1,110,950 miles. Total arrested was 1,027. We answered 20,324 complaints. Conducted 1,534 traffic stops and issued 568 traffic citations. Our high volume calls for this time was 1,593 alarms, 2,342 domestics, 4,109 subpoenas and civil papers we served, 2,610 transports. We had 2,814 suspicious incidents, either persons or vehicles, 59 burglaries, 496 theft by takings and entering autos, 30 DUIs. We cleared 1,853 warrants, conducted 90 zone patrols, and we had 821 juvenile incident reports, and 389 of those was charged. That's the highlights and the short points. If you got any questions, I'll answer them. If not, I'll get out of your hair and let you move on.
Sheriff Gulledge, I'd be interested in any numbers or significant things that you would just feel free to mention on gang-related activity in the county.
We got the same problem that this whole state's got. The more people moves here, the more trouble we're gonna have, but every county in this state is fighting gang problems, and we're not excluded from it. So I don't have any numbers to give you on amounts, but they're here and they're gonna continue to come. The more population rises, the more they're gonna come. We've been lucky up to a point we've been able to, they just live here, don't cause a lot of trouble here, but all that's changing, so the trouble's coming with them. So I hate it's coming, but it's not gonna get any better. The more people moves here, the more trouble we're gonna have. And it looks like there's a sign somewhere that says move to Paulding County, and I don't know where it's at, or I'd go take it, but they're still coming here, so. Anything else? Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you. On our public participation sheet, no one signed up this morning. I see some people out here that I thought surely would sign up. You, Tim.
Too late.
Army veteran there. Under the consent agenda, consideration of the following agenda item. Just one today, which is item number 3. It's to authorize the chairman to approve the transfer of $646.90. Wait, I'm talking money and it's square feet. I'm sorry. For the chairman to approve the transfer of 646.9 square feet, which is 0.05 acres, just a sliver of land, of right-of-way to GDOT for project number 0013702 for a purchase price of $500. And Mr. Wooten, we have you down for that. If anybody has any questions. If not, would anyone like to move this to regular session where we cover it in new business? Okay, we're good to leave it there under the consent agenda. Old business, none this morning. New business, item 4 is discuss action to authorize the chairman to sign the grant award. That's a document for the mental health court for the grant period of July 1st through 2023. I'm sorry, July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. And the grant award will be for $112,781, which with a county match of $15,379 coming from the DATE fund. And Judge Woodall, are you going to say something to us on this one?
Yes, sir, please, thank you.
Please, thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for this opportunity. Just a little bit about mental health court. And I would like to say Mr. Robert Lane, our chief district attorney, assistant district attorney, is here with us, and Ms. Lauren Ortiz, our court coordinator, are here. Just a few facts that are interesting. The first participants were inducted in January of 2019. Since that time, there's been 93 applications received. 10 participants have graduated since 2019, which is about a 50% success, and we're always striving to increase that success percentage. Somewhat of the best practices in mental health court are high risk, high reward. So we take a lot of high risk people. As you may know, it's where you've been charged with a felony, not misdemeanor. And so a lot of these people are high risk, and but there's also high reward from helping those people. In just 2022 alone, we did over 400 drug screens, over 420 hours of evidence-based group therapy where the participants participate in group therapy. It's usually once to twice a week, sometimes more. There were over 350 individual sessions, one-on-ones, with our treatment provider, our therapist. Participants completed almost 300 hours of community service. And one of the, I was honored and appointed by Judge Lyles in July of 2022. And since then, during my tenure, we've introduced genetic testing, which, if you're not familiar with that, and most mental health courts are not yet, but we are, is DNA testing that 100% tells you, or a person afflicted with a mental health disorder, what medication is perfect for them. One of the problems with mental health is that and you start a medication and it's not working, or you're having severe side effects, so that the doctor says, well, take this, let's change. That's not working, or you still feel effects of your mental health illness. Well, let's try this, or let's mix this. Well, this DNA testing tells the participant what mental health medications work best for their DNA. And we have had so far 2 or 3 participants, one in particular I can think of, that it has completely changed his trajectory in mental health court just by changing his medication. DNA testing is available through GeneSight for anyone, anybody that has mental health issues or takes mental health medication. It's not just exclusively for mental health court, but that's an awesome tool that the court started using after about July of last year. The goals and objectives for 2024, or this current grant period, fortunately, we don't have any participants yet that come from serious opioid addiction, but there is a program called MAT, Medication Assisted Treatment, which CACJ strongly encourages courts to use, and it's for medication assistance for methadone and Suboxone for participants that are severely or come into the program or have been severely addicted to opioids. So that will be implemented this grant year as well. And I say fortunately, we don't have any participants that, we have some participants that have used multiple drugs, but a person that is so severely addicted to opioids that Suboxone or methadone, we need to provide them in the treatment program so far. So, but that's something that will be implemented this year as needed. Next, just kind of ancillary to mental health court. Well, let me go back and say this. One of the goals with mental health court is census or numbers. I'm thrilled to, I got my feet wet into this last July and have now kind of got my sea legs straightened out. And I'm thrilled to understand and be able to collaborate with the Sheriff's Department, with the jail, with treatment programs, with outpatient programs, with our team. We have Michael Syrup, who's the Chief Public Defender on my team. We have Northrop Group, who's our treatment providers. We have Johnny McAfee, who's my felony probation officer, and of course Sergeant Barker, who oversees surveillance and our deputy for our team. Couldn't ask for a better team, and I'm only hoping and praying for the collaboration of everyone working together in the county to not only increase awareness, but also understand the need for continued growth in the mental health area and treatment in the jail, and hopefully getting people that are in jail with mental health issues either out in stabilization or even in our program if they've committed a felony. So I can't say to you how much the opportunities for the grant and monies mean to us, and the matching portion as well. And if y'all ever feel froggy, you can increase the match, but beggars can't be choosers. But one last thing I'd like to say is this is an ancillary to mental health court, but certainly goes hand in hand with it. We're opening a RCO, which is a recovery community organization. Not we, there's a board for this. I just am real passionate about it, so I talk as if it's mine. Ms. Ortiz is involved in it. Our team will be involved in it. It's located in Hiram, 276 Main Street. It's going to be a facility run for recovery, for people that need follow-up, help, support, meetings, resources, different kind of benefits that they can go and we're going to have computers there where their support staff can help people kind of pick themselves back up after recovery and get on a really healthy trajectory. And that's got a soft opening September 18th. Yes. September 18th, the recovery, what's the bus called? There's a recovery bus that goes throughout the state that stops at RCOs. There's one of these in every county, or most counties. Paulding County, we're so fortunate to get one now. Douglas County has one, the zones in Cobb County, to begin to offer resources to recovery from drug addiction and recovery from mental health crises. So that's a cool thing coming. So if y'all want to pay attention to that, we always need volunteers and donations and things like that. But I appreciate you giving me 3 or 4 minutes here to talk. It's a real honor to be a part of this, and we would ask that that we would like for you to approve our grant and the matching funds. And anybody have any questions?
Judge Woodall, what's the delineation between what individual would go to mental health court and then the next one we're going to talk about, just the drug court?
That's a really good question because they co-occur together. Our evaluator and or the evaluator through Highland Rivers that works in the jail, and coming from the jailers really, are the first indications of this person may have a mental health issue, or they've told the jailer, I've got a mental health issue, or they go in and have to be on medication, mental health medication. But they've also maybe got arrested for drug use. It's where the mental health issue is much more prevalent than the drug use. The drug use with mental health participants, in my kind of understanding, is comes along is medicating themselves, because so many people don't have insurance and medications. And so they medicate themselves with opioids or other drugs, not realizing the severity of their mental health problem. So we have a clinician that does an evaluation on everybody possible to assess them for a mental health diagnosis. And if they have a mental health diagnosis, they're hopefully going to come to mental health court. But if they just have drug addiction, multiple drug arrests, just drug addiction, not a clinical diagnosis of mental health, then they'll usually go into drug court, which is lots there too.
Thank you. And I would encourage anyone either watching online or that's here, if you go to a graduation, it'll be very moving to see the transition in these lives.
And I'm so glad you said that. I want to thank you so much for coming to our last graduation. We had one 2 or 3 weeks ago. And for the record, Ms. Ortiz told me this, and I was going to forget till you said that, is our next one is September 8th at 2 o'clock. We will have another participant graduating. So we've had several graduate this year so far, and it's a real success stories. So
some of the cases, obviously, might be drugs that get some locked up or whatever. I mean, what's some of the other things that's getting people locked up?
You know, that's probably a really good question for Mr. Lane, but I will say, a lot of times you'll see, like unruly theft. Yeah, theft because of, I guess, stealing for the need to buy drugs but several of our participants have assaults, battery, some domestic violence, because of their mental health issues. And I see that also a lot in probate court. But typically you're going to see what goes along with someone that is unmanaged with their mental health. Aggression, anger, violence maybe, drugs. Yeah.
And that DNA test that you was talking about, I mean, if you thought someone had a mental issue, where could they go get a test done?
So all of our participants have to volunteer for it. We can't make them do that. And every participant we've had since last July has. They're like, heck yeah, let's do this. But we use our PA, our physician's assistants on our team that does this, works under Dr. East. And she has an office at Crossroads in New Hope. What's the name of it?
It's called All Care, and it's in New Hope next to the Johnny's Pizza. Her name is Morgan Baker. You can make an appointment with her online. Most insurance accept the gene site. Like our participants, if they don't have insurance, you can apply for financial aid, and we actually get it for free.
Yeah.
Very close to free.
Yeah, so she's local right here that, I know of 2 people personally I've told about that program, just in their personal lives, have gone to see her, and it's remarkable.
I know that at one time, years ago, actually, they bought the Baggy Motels. Probably most people don't remember those, but back over in Dallas, and tore them down. But a lot of the people that lived in those motels, I mean, if they got off their medicine, you could tell it really quick.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not even the same person.
That's a huge struggle with mental health. You know, when I do orders to apprehend in probate court, as well as we see participants, I've dealt with several so far, that we've had to, they're cooperative in managing them staying on their medication. But there's a world of difference if you've got a severe mental health issue, if you're unmedicated. In one participant in particular, we had assaulted many deputies in the jail, and he's charged now again. He was just recently terminated from the program, but has severe anger issues, severe mental health issues that our program just wasn't equipped to continue to help him. But yeah, it's a struggle requiring somebody to keep them on their medication. I will tell you the mental health court program is extraordinarily supportive and helpful and encouraging in monitoring very closely their medication. So you can tell just about any day you talk to them if they're taking their medication or not. But that's part of the program. You have to take your medication. And we have really good success with that. But you're right, there's a population out there the homeless population as well, that there's a lot of mental health issues and not either the knowledge or the resources for people like that to know where to go to get their medication.
Do you know the cost? What is the cost?
Of the test, it's about $300 to $500. And I
If
just-
your insurance doesn't pay for it.
And I just want to say the medication, we use, it's called the Good Pill, and it's only $6 a month. So cost is not a factor in not taking your meds.
Yeah. So we'd like everybody in the jail who's diagnosable, and of course through their attorneys, the public defender and the district attorney have to agree on a plea and agree together, which they're extraordinary, Mr. Lane and Mr. Syrup are in working with these people and getting them out of jail and into our program. We're indoctrinating or inducting 2 new people next Thursday. Is it next Thursday?
July 13th.
July 13th. We've got 2 more participants in jail right now that are fixing to get out and come into our program. So, well, I can't say how much I appreciate the jail and the sheriff's department working with us.
I wanted to ask a question. I heard you say that this is only for felony cases. Is that the law for mental health, or is that just what our county has chosen to focus on? And could you explain to me what happens? Let's say somebody maybe commits a felony, but they plea deal to a misdemeanor. Are they not eligible then for this kind of help? And what can they do? What can we do to help them?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yes, the CACJ, which is the body that governs the accountability courts, standards are felonies. It's high risk, high reward. The common, I guess, understanding with misdemeanors is it's 12 months probation, typically 1 year in jail, 12 months probation. You know, it's a 1-year tenure for misdemeanors. And so our mental health court program is 18 months to 2 years. And so what you see is not a lot of people saying, I'd rather be on probation 6 months than participate in a 2-year-long program. So that's kind of counterintuitive with misdemeanors, but there are plenty of people that have been charged with misdemeanors that could benefit from the program. You know, we would love for even people that have been charged with a felony to say that this program could benefit me. You know, we're not dumb. 99% of the people come into the program because they want to save going to jail. And then when they are in the program 2 or 3 or 4 months in, they realize, hey, this is helping me. So, but that's to answer your question about misdemeanors and why CACJ doesn't allow us. It's not a law, it's just I guess a protocol. We need to use our resources for the most severely affected, I guess.
When they graduate, so they graduate, is there any requirement for them to check in every so often after they graduate?
There is not, but I will tell you, while Ms. Ortiz has been here and her continued involvement with them, and even me, they are very highly encouraged to call us, come back, refresh on a course, collaborate with us, talk to us, reach out for support, and us continue to help them. Nobody's going to not help them or support them, but no, they're taught throughout the tenure of their involvement in mental health court and learn, typically our graduates, we know, how to reach out to their therapist, how to reach out and continue to take their medication. You know, they've learned a lot of resources about just living, everything from finances to, you know, their resources in being educated, their resources in going to school, to medication, they've learned all these life skills that we see that they can continue to follow up with, and know they've learned how to reach out for help and obtain secondary help or support if they need it. We're hoping they'll do that. But no, we love to stay in touch with them, and we encourage them to reach out if they need further support at all times, because I hope we're not going anywhere.
This may be a Tabitha question, but curious mind here, both for the mental health court and the drug court that will be reported on next. the match is 13.6%, both of them. Where did that come from?
It's set by CJCC. It did increase over last year. It used to be 10%.
Usually we just have a 20% or 10%.
We'll take 20. So I'm glad Ms. Ortiz was here. I didn't know the answer to that. So,
That's what they set it at. I don't know what.
and then the
for
county,
everybody.
yeah, and then we certainly ask, hope for y'all to approve that. We need all the help we can get as numbers go up.
On behalf of the whole board, we appreciate what y'all do, and again, if you start going to the graduation, it's kind of addictive because it just warms your heart up.
It is, they're great. We have a good time. We have really good cupcakes too. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
your
Judge
time.
Woodall. Appreciate you being here.
Appreciate it.
So new business number 5 is to discuss action to authorize the chairman to sign the grant award documents for the drug court for the grant period July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. The grant award will be for $261,386 with a match on our part of $35,644 coming from the date fund. Ms. Pollard.
First, to answer your question a little bit more thoroughly, maybe, that CJCC does administer this, but it's a state program, so it's not like a federal grant where you see the 10% or the 15% or the 20%. So the state has an allotted amount in the budget that they have for these accountability courts, and then they take our applications for the budgeted funds. We have an amount that we're allotted based on population and other things. There's many factors that go into that, but they take our budget and then they take our allotment, and then the difference is pretty much our match portion. So that's kind of an idea of how they get to that number. So Judge Bucci couldn't be with us today. He had other obligations. So he sent over a few facts about the drug court to be mentioned, and we've had a drug court since 2016, so these stats are since that time. We've had 79 participants graduate the program, 36 participants have terminated from the program. A total of 25,957 drug screens have been performed, and currently we have 20 participants in the program with 2 applications pending. As part of the 18-month-long program, participants have to do the following. They have to have a drug test 3+ times per week, group treatment 4 times per week, individual treatment once monthly, family sessions, 12-step meetings 3 times per week, establish sponsor and regular communication, meetings with the coordinator, find and maintain employment, prepare for GED. They have curfew, they do pay a program fee of $25 weekly, and they attend court sessions weekly. Drug courts are a key step in long-term sobriety. People who successfully complete the program are significantly less likely to be arrested again compared to those who are sentenced with traditional punishments. And as always, Judge Bucci appreciates the continued support from the chairman and the Board of Commissioners. These funds that are being provided are used for the program coordinator, so that's the day-to-day person that's there to coordinate the program. And then they have all of the treatment and a case manager, as well as some counseling, and then we have surveillance. So we have officers that go out to make sure they've met curfew, make sure they're at work, make sure they're doing what they say they're doing. And there's a little bit of training in those funds as well. So that's what they're used for. If you have any questions.
Thank you. New business item 6 is discuss action to authorize the chairman to enter into a professional services agreement with Heath and Lineback Engineers Incorporated for continuing supportive engineering services not to exceed $65,000. The agreement will be funded with general funds. Mr. George Jones.
Morning.
Morning.
As you all know, the DOT's engineering divisions continue to experience a high volume workload. DOT engineering, when fully staffed, has 4 civil engineers. Right now, we have 2 vacancies, a engineering division manager and a pre-construction engineer. We also have, since fall of 2021, another engineer has been on active military duty. They're not expected back until late 2023. Our workload is expected to be pretty constant over the next months, and looking at basically development review, in-house consultant projects, management projects, stormwater projects. Essentially, we need expertise to keep all our projects going. We've utilized Heath and Lineback over many years on design projects and also providing engineering support. Per an agreement approved by the Board of Commissioners in 2021, Heath and Lineback has provided supportive engineering services to DOT. The last supportive engineering funding approved earlier this year in March is close to being expended, so we're asking the board to consider approving a funding allotment of $65,000 to continue this service for the next 4 months. This would be funded through general funds. We're hoping to get some folks interested in these positions, apply for these positions, so that's why we're keeping it 4-month intervals so it doesn't go too long. But until then, we're unfortunately going to need some help to keep our projects going.
Any questions? Well, before I go to the next one, which is also Mr. Jones, I wanted to state that under item 4, while Judge Woodall was speaking, someone in the audience got my attention that wanted to ask a question. Our attorney said that we didn't take questions from the audience during the new business, but if you stay, Judge Woodall or anybody else, for a few minutes, I'm sure that individual will come ask you the question. All right, item number 7 is discuss action to enter into an agreement with Contech Engineering Solutions, LLC, in the amount of $395,348 for the purchase of a triple-span aluminum arc culvert structure for the Mud Creek Road Culvert Replacement Project. This project is in Post 2. The funding is for this project will be from the general funds combined with SPLOST funds, Special Purpose Local Option Sales Tax. Mr. Jones.
We're requesting the board to approve the DOT to purchase 3 aluminum arch culverts for Mud Green Road, a project location just north of 616 Mud Green Road. The project consists of replacing the existing corrugated metal pipes at that location with aluminum arch structure culverts. The metal pipes are undersized and deteriorating and they need replacement. As I said, essentially they are undersized and they're unable to handle the stormwater runoff that comes through there for large event storms. Our engineering construction staff has worked with the design consultant Heath and Lineback and also the arch culvert supplier Contech to design a system that would fit the span and volume of the stormwater going through this area. This structure is essentially, it's a 3 structure, so basically 3 arch culverts next to each other. So 1, 2, 3. Each culvert's essentially, it's 21 foot, 3 inches wide by 6 foot, 10 inches tall by 54 foot in length. The roadway itself, there's a 60-foot roadway right-of-way, so covers most of the right-of-way along there. Your arch culverts, they provide increased flow and less maintenance and blockage compared to multiple barrel culverts. They're more cost-effective to construct, and they're more ecologically sensitive and less impactful to streams. Conservative lifespans on these arch culverts is anywhere from a 75-year lifespan. The manufacturers stated they believe it's closer to 100. The county itself has performed numerous projects installing arch culverts, Swan Drive, Quail Ridge Road, Woodrow K. School Road. We're asking the board to consider approving this funding now so we can directly order it, A, to receive more favorable pricing, and also B, to get a head start on ordering the culvert so we can basically speed up the project rather than wait for a contractor to advertise and then order the structures. And that's essentially it, and if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
I forgot what creek or river
It's Mud Creek, and we also did a analysis of the soils out there. Again, it's called Mud Creek, not Stone Creek, so we wanted to make sure that what structure we put out there would be able to hold up, obviously. So.
Forward in place.
What it is, it's the aluminum arch itself basically goes and spans into the water, and then there's a base essentially. It's a foundation. It's kind of a hybrid between a precast and a cast. This particular project will have essentially a precast base, which you will set down in the stream itself, and then you'll take concrete and pour it into that precast, and then those aluminum will fit into the slot into that essentially.
What size did you say is out there now?
They're 42-inch pipes. It's severely undersized. So I think, obviously, as Paulding DOT has grown, along with the county, we've tried to essentially size pipes to what the stormwater flow is, not just put pipes out there, which happened many years ago. Obviously, those pipes have been there for many years. So we try to look at it in 100-year design flow for storms.
What is the approximate traffic down through that road on a
It's-
daily basis?
It's less than 1,000 a day.
What do you anticipate for further upgrades at other road crossings?
Essentially, right now, we're almost on it's a case-by-case basis. As pipes fail, as locations fail, we go out and try to repair them, put them on a project list. With our last comprehensive transportation plan, we did go out and identify structures, do analysis, rate them. So we're trying to get better about essentially knowing maybe where problems are going to start, rather than just reacting to things to try to plan. So we have been on a worst first type case basis, but hopefully we can grow from that and try to be more of a proactive and maintain and basically schedule things before there's a catastrophic failure.
Comments, questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item 8 is discuss action to approve the chairman's nomination of Jeremiah Fields to fill the position of Paulding County Property Manager Director. And all I would say, and I don't know if the county manager would like to precede any comment I would have, but
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, along with a couple of senior folks in our organization, interviewed a number of people over the last couple of months, and we were very impressed with Mr. Fields, and therefore the recommendation coming from the county manager to you as the chairman for nomination is Mr. Jeremiah Fields for this position. This is a newly created position, and this will fuse a building component to our property. Right now, we just have a property maintenance division, and this will include overseeing that and also additionally the vertical construction that we're so desperately needing. So it's an honor to make that suggestion to you, Mr. Chairman, for your nomination.
and I appreciate Human Resources and the county manager, Mr. Baker, putting a lot of effort into getting the advertisements out there and then conducting the interviews in a professional manner. And I've known Mr. Fields for quite a number of years. He's in the audience today, and I have full confidence that he will bring a lot of good knowledge and productivity for Paulding County. All right, we'll move on to number 9. Discuss action to approve a development agreement between Artisan Storage Incorporated and Paulding County to extend gravity sanitary sewer service along the Highway 92 business corridor. The funding of a crossing will be from the Renewal and Extension Fund, and this project's located in Post 3, and Mr. Ray Wooten to add additional information.
Good morning again. This item is to approve a development agreement between us and Artisan Storage. Currently, along this section of Highway 92, we have sewer along the west side of 92 up to Ridge Road. we have businesses on the east side of Ridge Road, and we're trying to coordinate a development agreement to where the county installs a crossing where it meets all of our regulations, and we can have sewer extended by a developer to service all those properties that are on the east side, existing on the east side of Highway 92. And the reason we're looking for a development agreement is it basically sets all our timelines and puts everything in place so that we can put it in an orderly fashion. The crossing that we put in, they will extend 1,500 feet from that crossing all the way up to the property just north of Pine Valley Road. I've attached a map as part of the agenda package. Any questions or?
The funding for this comes out of the Renewal and Extension Fund, and that is part of the Water Department's funds, correct?
The water
Or not
should-
department, but Enterprise Fund or whatever.
Yeah, the water, yeah, that's the enterprise fund. That is just for the crossing. The other is put in entirely by the developer.
Thank you so much, Ray.
All right, thank you.
That is the conclusion of regular business. No one signed up on non-agenda items this morning. I'd like to just open it up to commissioners. If anybody on the panel here would like to celebrate something, announce something, it's your chance, once again.
I would like to welcome my newest granddaughter to the world. She was born this week on Sunday, and we're just delighted that she is healthy and well. She doesn't live in Paulding County, unfortunately. She's in Pennsylvania. But anyway, we're looking forward to meeting her, and maybe she'll come visit Paulding County before long. I also wanted to say that we're in the budget process right now, and we have an excellent head of our finance department, Tabitha Pollard, who knows that budget inside and out and is just a wonderful resource. But for you citizens who may be watching or you're here, you can go online and get a copy of the budget. And in this county, we really appreciate your participation. We want to have an open, transparent process. We want you to ask questions. We would much rather you ask questions than be out on Next Door Neighbor and Facebook saying rude things about us. Because we are working hard to try to change some dynamics in the county to keep our taxes as reasonable as possible, and that would be with commercial development to help out with that load. Also, and this has been said, but I don't think it hurts to say it again and again, and that is that estimate you got with your assessment is not your tax bill, is probably not what your tax bill is going to be. That is what the state requires us to do, and that is only what your tax would be if we made no change in the tax rate, either us or the school board. And so, again, I'm sure the school board, I won't speak for them, but I'm sure they're working hard too over there to see what they can do to give some relief. But also, if you're homesteaded this year, the state has put in a program that it will save you about $400 off of that estimate. We were not allowed to take off that $400, but that is only if you have a homestead on your property. So if you own the property and live there and you have filed for a homestead. So if that gives you a little sigh of relief, then that's what I intended to do. If you want to take part in the budget process, certainly go download a copy of that budget. It's not hard to read, and it goes department by department, and you certainly have a right as a citizen to be a part of that process. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
That's well said. Are you old enough to be a grandmother?
Barely.
Anyone else? We have one more meeting tonight before 4th of July. So at 6 o'clock tonight, we'll have a meeting, and in that meeting, we'll recognize Representative Martin Momdahan, who ACCG, Association of County Commissioners of Georgia, is giving a special service award for his work in the past General Assembly. So if you know Martin, or you'd like to participate in that, it'll happen first thing in the meeting tonight at 6 o'clock. And along with that, I'll just say Happy 4th of July. I need a motion then, if no one else has any comments, to go into executive session for real estate. And the board will not return to this room, but will adjourn out of the conference room across the hall. Entertain a motion.
Motion to go to executive session
Motion
for
approved.
real estate.
To go to executive session for real estate. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Caker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.